I thought for certain that throughout the month I would be like, sugar. Oh, honey, honey. Hi, my name is Mady, and I'm on a journey to lose weight and so if you see the title and you're like, Mady, why are you doing this? Well, the answer is simple. I don't know. No, I do know, but I also don't know. So I have a cereal problem. And that sounds a little weird, but if you guys have been around the channel for a while, which I know at least some of you will be, your girl has lost 50 pounds, and I've lost it making balanced decisions, I would say. Tracking my calories, still allowing myself to have treats, not cutting out any particular food groups. And this challenge isn't about sugar is the devil or anything like that. Really, all things in moderation. However, I have a cereal problem. I generally try in my real life, in my real world, on and off, but I try generally to adhere to a Mediterranean diet. However, a cup of cereal most nights, which I account for the calories for, is not Mediterranean diet friendly. It's not. And it's the hardest thing I have found to give up in this journey. It is. And so I would like to stop that. Now, that's not the only reason, obviously. The other reason is fertility. I've read a number of books that say, hey, you know what's not good for your eggs? Spiking your insulin. Now, fun fact, fun science fact, you spike your insulin every time you eat. You do. So I don't want anybody worrying about that, like, oh my God, am I spiking my insulin? We do every time we eat. It's a perfectly normal thing. But naturally, sugar, as someone with PCOS who is more sensitive to insulin spikes, sugar makes it go way up. And we don't want that. We don't want that. Now, am I going to give up sugar for the rest of my life? No, that is not my promise. I am not doing that. Sugar is in everything. If you've ever seen any of these no sugar added challenge videos, sugar is in everything. It's in things it has no business being in. It makes things addicting. It's delicious. Sugar has its hand in everything. However, the thing that I want to get out of this personally is I want to adjust my taste buds. If you guys have ever been on a low carb diet, which I have, I've done low carb in the past, and you try something that's sugar-free, the sugar-free variant, you take a big bite of whatever it is, and you're like, this is gross, but you stick with low carb and you're doing well. And then you try it again a few weeks later and you're like, oh, this isn't actually half bad. That's what I want for my taste buds. I want to enjoy healthier versions of treats and it actually tastes good to me. That is what I want. Believe it or not, I actually do have some experience doing a no sugar added diet. I did this a couple of times in the form of Whole30. This is not a Whole30 video. I will be eating cheese and various things this month and bread. I will be eating those things this month. However, I have done Whole30. I actually have a very old video from an old iteration of this channel about why I hate Whole30, and I still stand by everything that past Mady said. She was right. Whole30 sucks. It does. But I do have some experiences doing this. I'm not completely going in the dark. And I did experience the thing I talked about with low carb, where a few weeks in, I tried some unsweet tea and it didn't taste bitter and disgusting. It actually tasted kind of nice. So I want those benefits. Now, I've been talking long enough, but I do want to get into the rules because people tend to have different rules whenever they do these challenges. So I don't want to hear in the comments like, Mady, oh my God, this is not the way you're supposed to do this. These are the Mady rules, okay? I don't know why I'm so angry. It's like I'm preemptively know that I'm going to suffer from this. All right. So, rule numero uno, the big rule, no sugar. And that includes artificial sugar, sugar-free things. No diet soda, no maltodextrin, no dextrose, none of that. You guys ever see that Nickelodeon commercial about sugar? That commercial actually really helped me remember how to know what all the fake names that sugar goes by, because it's a lot. No high fructose corn syrup, none of that.
So how can you tell where sugar is hiding? Check the ingredients on the package label for sugar, or sugar disguised with names like glucose, sucrose, dextrose, and maltose. All words that rhyme with gross.
No natural sugar either, like honey, agave, or maple syrup. None of that. Nothing. No hope. I will, however, be having fruit. And I see a lot of comments on Facebook especially, hating on fruit. Oh my God, fruit is nothing but sugar and carbs. It's not true. Fruit has fiber in it. Fruit has lots of vitamins and nutrients in it. Fruit is good for you. And then finally, I will be having like cinnamon and vanilla extract. If it's good enough for Whole30, it's good enough for me. Even though I hate Whole30. Whatever. So, I know I've come off real angry in this intro. I just know I'm going to suffer. I'm going to be real. I'm not going in with a positive mindset. But I do hope I get some good things out of this, and I will let you guys know. So let's get into it.
One eternity later.
So we did the damn thing. No added sugar for 1 whole damn month. And I have thoughts. Man, do I have thoughts. Before I get too far into it, I do want to say that any of the more complicated recipes, links down in the description for that for you guys if you're interested. I also want to say that I have 2 day of eating vlogs during this challenge. So if you're interested, go check those out. In the one that I'm putting right here in the cards, I don't even know if I'm gesturing in the right direction, but there are some really helpful comments, especially with regards to me like lamenting the fact that like, you know, I was having struggles with black coffee. There are a lot of helpful comments. So if you're like, matey, I don't want to watch another video about this, you can go read the comments. So with a lot of these food challenge videos, I like to start with dividing the food into categories, starting with breakfast.
Oh, I'm not really into breakfast foods.
Really? Your purse is shaped like a waffle.
Is it?
Much like with the Mediterranean diet video, I kind of was at a loss for what I could eat for breakfast every day. And especially in that first week, I basically ate some variation of eggs, bacon, and toast. I did switch some of my whole eggs for egg whites because I was getting a little bit worried about my cholesterol. She does go up if I'm eating more cholesterol heavy things. That's probably not the way to say that, but you guys know what I mean. I also did try my usual smoothie recipe with this no sugar added freaking protein powder, but it was not very good. I'm gonna be real. I was definitely missing Quest protein powder that does have sugar in it. I didn't care for it. If I tried it again, I would probably just do half a scoop, but you know, I wanted the protein. What can I say? One day, me and Henry were traveling and I had some like plain Greek yogurt and berries. Walmart produce isn't it, and I kind of realized that doing this challenge. Walmart produce sucks, but I also just don't like freaking plain Greek yogurt. It tastes like sour cream and I don't like sour cream. But having said that, later in the challenge, I added some chia smash to the Greek yogurt and that helped out significantly. It was good and I wasn't missing the sweetener as much. Another one of my moves was that I would use these like almond flour tortillas that I found that were pretty damn expensive, but still, I would do egg whites, some cheese, some Whole30 turkey, and just make like essentially like a breakfast taco and some Cholula. Is that how you say it? Some hot sauce. I put that hot sauce on a lot of my breakfasts. That's some good hot sauce. I also did manage to make feta eggs with those same tortillas. And yeah, I'm salivating thinking about them. I'm not gonna lie. You get creative when you're like not sure what you can eat. And whenever it's my time of month, I do try to indulge in like a little bit of self-care. And obviously this challenge makes it a lot more difficult to do. But one morning I made this concoction that I'm going to call PB&J pancakes, PB&J protein pancakes. So I feel like that's sort of self-explanatory with whatever footage I'm going to overlay. I actually did this one later in the challenge and it was very good. I did feel the self-care. I felt it in my soul. I don't think I would have liked it as much had I done it at the beginning of the challenge. I think I would have been missing sweetened peanut butter or like, you know, syrup. But because I did it toward the end and my taste buds were adapting, it soothed my soul. The last thing that I wanted to mention is that I saw this in High Falutin Low Carb. on his YouTube channel, and originally it came from this chick. I think her name's Autumn. I will link her down below, but basically it's cottage cheese, blueberries, and peanut butter. Now, I am so about cottage cheese. Cottage cheese is kind of weird, but I don't hate it. I usually just have to have a lot of stuff to eat with it. The peanut butter made this. It was delicious. So yeah, not a bad, I mean, kind of a weird breakfast, but I would eat it again. I will eat it again, chances are. Snacks wise, there weren't a lot of snacks. Fruit was the easy go-to, whether it was alone or part of a bigger snack. Not all the flavors of Lara bars are no sugar added, but the cashew cookie one that I had on hand is good to go. I also managed to find a no sugar added applesauce, and I low-key, high-key love me some applesauce. And don't judge that in this clip I was too lazy to take it out of the measuring cup. Savory flavors of popcorn were also good to go on that. That was pretty easy to find. But really, I'm not gonna lie, like a good 80% of the time, God, I said I'm not gonna lie. Somebody pointed out in my comments that I say that a lot and I can't stop. But 80% of the time, my move was a slice of Ezekiel bread, some peanut butter, Crazy Richards was my go-to, chia smash, and just that as a snack. Sometimes I'd put it with fruit, sometimes it would be on its own, and it hit every single time. So good, so refreshing. So let's move on to lunch and dinner. So for a lot of meals, I did eat what I would normally eat. But, you know, if you have a bunch of ingredients in a meal, you have to read the backs of all of them to see and make sure, hey, does this have sugar? Does this have sugar? And it gets annoying very quickly. So at the beginning, I ate a lot of meats and vegetables. I think keeping it simple is the way to go. And that's what I wanted to do. I just was trying to play it safe. I was very nervous of messing up, but then I kind of realized, you know what? That's part of life and it's okay. It's okay. I also tried various Primal Kitchen condiments because I'm pretty sure all of their stuff is Whole30. Don't quote me on that, but I'm pretty sure. And if it's Whole30, it's good for this diet. So I really freaking like the Primal Kitchen ketchup. It was delicious. I also have a little taste test for you guys where I tried the barbecue sauce. So let's take a look at that.
Wow. You know what? This barbecue sauce is not good. It's so vinegary. There are many different types of barbecue sauce. I would not call this a classic barbecue sauce. I would call this a mistake. A mistake, Primal Kitchen. A mistake. I'm going to eat it, but I won't like it.
But eventually I did branch away from the meat and vegetables and did chilies and soups and things that I really enjoy just in my everyday life when I'm not doing this challenge. One of my favorite meals that I discovered was, first of all, Real Good Chicken, a good brand, but they don't put sugar in their stuff. It's all no sugar added. I mean, I shouldn't say all of it, but the chicken nuggets are no sugar added. And so I would do that on a wrap with some, for some reason, cabbage really hit. I would do that, maybe some kind of salad bag, without the dressing, not the dressing, because it's mainly the first or second ingredient is sugar in the dressings. But the veggies themselves, typically cabbage, I would eat that. Oh, my favorite quick meal. Or I would just skip the wrap altogether and just eat it as a salad, Primal Kitchen Ranch. I also tend to do a fair amount of Asian cooking, and I did find that I really missed that. A lot of Asian sauces typically have sugar, but I did manage to make some really tasty fried rice. I used a mixture of cauliflower rice and regular rice, but it hit. I did miss the oyster sauce though. I did.
No, matey, you can't. I'm sorry, baby. It's got sugar. You're not allowed.
So looking back on the footage, I did realize that I went out to eat a fair amount. For the most part, it was due to travel or me just being out and about running errands. I went to St. Louis for a fertility appointment. I stopped by Whole Foods, and Whole Foods, first of all, I'm so jealous of anybody that lives in a freaking town with a Whole Foods. I'm jealous of you. I am. Because Whole Foods has a hot section. They also have a salad bar, but they have a hot section of their store. and it's like a buffet, and it is, I've never eaten there before, but it was so good. It was expensive, but it was good. But more importantly, on each buffet item, it had all of the ingredients listed. So I was able to partake in foods that normally I wouldn't partake in because I'd be like, oh, there's definitely going to be some hidden sugar in that. So I had some soup and some mac and cheese, and I'm salivating. I'm getting hungry from this video. It was an indulgent lunch, but you know what? I needed it and I deserved it. I also found that Panera and Five Guys were pretty good to go. You can have plain French fries at Five Guys, and I did partake in that. The seasoned ones do have sugar in the seasoning, so don't do that. But the plain ones are allegedly good to go. Panera is also nice because, like Whole Foods, if you go into their app, you can read all of the ingredients in individual things. I know when I went, I had just gone to the store, and so I bought some Primal Kitchen ranch, and I had some no sugar added turkey and put that in the salad. It's kind of a lot to pay for a salad to, like, you know, not be able to get the protein and everything. But, you know, sometimes when you go out to eat, you're also going out to eat for the experience, and that's what I was doing. Chipotle also has a Whole30 bowl, which obviously is going to work great for sugar-free stuff. I did add cilantro lime rice because I Googled it, and Google said that they don't add sugar to that. And I actually want to say most things are safe at Chipotle. You want to be careful of some of the meats. The beans are a no-go. And apparently the corn salsa is also a no-go. Like, they put dextrose in it. Don't quote me. That's part of the thing about this challenge is it's kind of hard to figure out what you can and can't have. But I definitely partook in the Whole30 bowl with some rice. And I know the shot that I got of the rice looks like it's a rice bowl, but I promise it's just because I flipped it upside down. There was one day that me and Henry went to another city to go kayaking, and we explored these ruins, and it was lovely. And I actually packed us a lunch that day rather than going out to eat. I did carrots, hummus, BLTs, all of it on Ezekiel bread. And yes, if you're looking closely, you can see some Lay's potato chips. I'm gonna be real with you. I don't claim that the palm oil is healthy, but honestly, it hit the spot after hours of kayaking and exploring. You guys ever been swimming? You know that a cold drink and a sandwich and some chips is just gonna seal the deal. We also ended up celebrating one of our anniversaries, and yes, I said one of them. We do celebrate multiple anniversaries for various things, and we enjoy it, and I'm not looking for judgment on this. But we celebrated by going to this candlelight orchestra, which was lovely, and we had a very fancy dinner at a place that is not a chain. There's only one location, so there was no Googling. And like, I was like, how am I going to explain this to the people, like what I did? And so I wanted to be like, oh, I took a night off from the challenge. But I feel like that implies that like I intentionally indulged in some sugar, and that was not the case. Your girl did not do that. I did try to adhere to the challenge. I just accepted that maybe some accidental sugar would, you know, incept its way into my food. But with my salad, I asked for oil and vinegar instead of a dressing, which they actually were more than happy to do that for me. I got a steak, which they said was cooked in butter, and I got mashed potatoes, and the mashed potatoes may have been the riskier part, but I got in and out of there as safely as I could. So with all of that out of the way, let's talk about my mess ups, because unfortunately, there were some mess ups. On day 2 of the challenge, I think it was day 2, I made some turkey burgers. I told you guys I was playing it safe. And something told me after I ate the turkey burgers, like, matey, go look at the ingredients on that seasonal that you used. And sure enough, bada bing, bada boom, maltodextrin. And if you guys don't know, maltodextrin is an artificial sugar, and it's not one of the good ones, it's a bad one. But I did end up finding another seasoning replacement, and we were good to go. We didn't make that mistake again. But this isn't Whole30, so it's not like I was like, I have to start over. No. We kept chugging along, which I think is the way to go. My other main mess up, and I feel really dumb for this one, I'm gonna be real, because I did this for a few days and didn't realize, but every night before bed, I take a chewable melatonin. And it wasn't until one night where I was laying down about to drift away that I was like, matey, this melatonin tastes sweet. You know there's probably sugar in here. And so I read the ingredients, and sure enough, it felt like half of them were sugar to, you know, make it taste good. But I very quickly, and by very quickly I mean immediately, replaced it for melatonin that you just swallow, you don't chew. And we were good to go on that one as well. So let's talk about the number one place where I struggled. And I'm gonna be real, it's not what I thought I would struggle with. I thought for certain that throughout the month I would be like, sugar. Oh, honey, honey. All right, I'm going to see myself out. Like, comment, subscribe. Just kidding. Smash that dislike button. All right. All right. Regardless, the thing I struggled with, I do feel like overall I did have an easier time than most with this challenge. I don't partake in a lot of soda, so there wasn't that need of like detoxing from like a soda addiction like, you know, a certain husband would struggle with. I mainly drink water. And yeah, sure, I wanted a treat every now and then. I did, sometimes more than every now and then, but that's like par for the course. It wasn't miserable. No. The number one thing that I struggled with was beverages. So other than black coffee, I just drink water. That's all I drink. And I just needed something else. Like, there were a lot of helpful comments on that vlog of mine about black coffee, and they were super helpful and made me like not hate drinking black coffee anymore. But I didn't love it. I just tolerated it. But by the end of the challenge, I was so sick of drinking water. And here's the thing, I'm a water drinker. I have always said that drinking water is the one healthy habit that actually comes natural to me. But once a week, maybe even less than that, I just want something else. And I don't claim that this is healthy, but like probably every 10 days or so, I have a sugar-free Red Bull or I have a soda. And, you know, I thought I'd be fine, you know, every 10 days or so. That means I'm saying no to it 3 times. But no, not having the option to have it at all, it slowly began to grate on me. I did try out some sparkling water. I found a Whole30 recipe. I have the Whole30 cookbook. But I found it. It was sparkling water, muddled up raspberries, and some lemon. And honestly, it was nasty. It was awful. I hate it. I don't like sparkling water. It tastes like someone took a glass of water, screamed all of their disappointments into it, transferred it to a can, and sold it to the masses. I feel the same way about flavored sparkling water. Tastes like if I were drinking grape, tastes like someone screamed grape into it, put it in a can, and sold it to me. It's not good. I don't understand how you people like it. I'm sorry. And I tried it multiple times trying to get myself to like it, and I just couldn't. So that was the thing I struggled with, was just drinking freaking water all the time. Now, I told you guys at the beginning of this video that I wasn't going to bore you guys with, oh my God, sugar is in everything, because it is. It is. But I've done like Whole30 before in the past, so I wasn't like completely shocked the way a lot of people are, except by 2 things. Someone tell me, why in the fuck is there sugar in cheese? That's right, I said it, cheese. Okay, actually it says it right on the container that they use powdered cellulose to prevent caking. So that's on crumbly cheeses like feta and Parmesan. They do it to prevent caking. But like, why does it have to be sugar? Why can't they find something else? And the next thing I want to rant about that was like, what the hell? I feel like I need to compose myself. So I grew up poor. I feel like you guys might know this. I think I've mentioned it. Buying name brand things always felt like a status symbol to me. I would always hear growing up, just buy the generic. It's the same thing. And I don't know if I'm tripping, but for a long time, I thought that buying the generic was the same thing. It's like the same ingredients, only it says great value on it. But if that was true before, it ain't true now. The amount of sugar and additives and bullshit that these companies put in something to what? To save 40 cents on a tub of cottage cheese? These greedy ass companies put sugar and all of this filler ingredients into this stuff when like, it's more expensive than ever just to live. Why? Why? Okay. I use that very specific example because that is exactly what happened to me. I ordered a generic tub of cottage cheese to be delivered to my house. And then something told me after I submitted the order, matey, take a look, see. And I checked, and sure enough, it had sugar in it. And luckily I was able to message the shopper, and he got me the Daisy brand. Shout out to him. I can't even remember his name, but shout out to him. He's a real one. And that didn't have sugar in it. But like, it really did bother me. It pissed me off. Corporate greed is a son of a bitch. All right, I don't want to end this video on a negative note, so I do want to give you guys some quick tips for your success on this challenge if you wanted to do that. Number one, looking up Whole30 recipes is probably one of the easier ways to find inspiration on what you can eat. You don't have to be like me. You don't have to eat basic ass meat and vegetables. Number two kind of goes with number one, but basically number two is if it says Whole30 on it, it's probably good to go. Primal Kitchen, Applegate, those brands, typically their stuff is Whole30. So Whole30 means good to go. Number three is my weird tip, and I've never heard anyone else give this. Number three is to tell you guys that ChatGPT actually helped me out significantly on this challenge. I would go out to eat, and now to be clear, ChatGPT is not perfect, but I did feel like it led me in the right direction. So if I was thinking about going out to eat at a chain restaurant, I would message ChatGPT. I'd be like, hello, ChatGPT. Does Five Guys plain fries have sugar? And then it would give me an answer. And then I would follow that up by being like, can you tell me the ingredients in Five Guys fries? Because again, it's not perfect. And then sometimes that would be enough, or sometimes I'd Google it to try to triple check. Because again, I didn't want to mess up. I didn't, you guys. It was very helpful. Not perfect, but helpful. And then last but not least, I do want to talk about my dietary plans for the future. A common critique I see with any of these like temporary challenge videos is like, what is the point if you're just going to go back to eating like normal when this is all said and done? Like, why are you doing this? And first of all, I mean, you guys, I'm marketing this for YouTube, for you guys. I want this video to reach your eyeballs. If you're not a subscriber here and you came here, clicked here, thank you very much for that. But that's partially because I'm appealing as best I can to the algorithm. And the algorithm thinks that it is sexy to put a time limit on these things. It's also my way of being like, here is how long I'm documenting this new thing that I'm trying. And to be clear, I do learn something new from every single one of these challenges, even if I don't end up actively following them once the time limit is up. It helps soothe my ADHD brain and helps keep it entertained to be changing stuff up. It does in this magical thing called life. But I have seen a lot of people, not on my videos, but on other people's videos, be like, wow, so you're just going to go back to eating what you were before this challenge in response to, again, other people's stuff. And for me, kind of, mostly, no, kind of is the correct answer. So as a lot of you know, I am trying to adopt a Mediterranean diet in my everyday life. Whole foods, making sure to eat fish at least once a week, twice when I can. A folate-rich food once a day, in addition to my prenatal vitamin, even though I'm not pregnant yet, you're supposed to take prenatals, and 80 grams of protein. I don't hit those every single day, but I do really strive to hit most of those markers, if not all of them, as best I can. And for me, in the Mediterranean diet, sweets are already something to be consumed in moderation. And, you know, your girl is doing this for fertility, and fertility is the long game. Most of you guys know I do have PCOS. I am sensitive to insulin spikes, and insulin spikes are not good for your egg health. And we're trying to get the healthiest eggs possible. To answer the question that I kind of presented at the beginning of this spiel, my plan is to avoid desserts with real sugar. And in fact, I'm not going to partake in anything until Thanksgiving break, any desserts with real sugar. I will explain my logic to you, but please keep in mind that I'm not a doctor, I'm not a nutritionist, I'm not a dietitian. I'm just a girl on the internet that's read a ton of books. Now, there is a plethora.
You put the wrong emphasis on the wrong syllable.
There is a plethora of studies that are like, hey, artificial sugar has the same effect on your brain as real sugar does. The brain doesn't know the difference. But you know what artificial sugar doesn't do? It doesn't spike your insulin/blood sugar. And if you don't believe me, you can ask my diabetic mother who partakes in all the sugar-free things. Highfalutin Low Carb actually has an interesting video where he tries various like low carb sweeteners and he tests his blood sugar. And I will link that in the cards somewhere because I thought that that was very interesting. But, you know, the point is, my bottom line is that I am going to be Mediterranean diet 90% of the time. Probably another 8% of the time when I do partake in desserts, it'll be things like Halo Top or Lily's chocolate. And 2% of the time, I will enjoy some actual real dessert, like the one time a year I get to taste my mama's baking, which will be at Thanksgiving. We're not going to say no to that. It's once a year. I'll be fine. Right now would be a great time to mention that I actually also got a Ninja Creamy off Facebook Marketplace, and I'm so excited. I've yet to use it, but because obviously I was doing this challenge, but I'm gonna, and I am pumped. So if you want to see anything about that in future videos, please let your girl know. So as we close out the video, I do just want to say that I would consider this one of my more extreme challenges, probably my most extreme challenge that I've done. And I don't think it's necessary for most people. For me personally, I did this challenge because I really wanted to buckle down in some areas with my life, and I really think that this challenge helped me to do that. And what I wasn't expecting from this challenge is that it actually helped me with a lot of the things I struggled with in my Mediterranean diet video. I was able to hit my protein goals for the most part without relying heavily on bars, powders, or protein drinks, because for the most part, they are not allowed on this challenge. But it was nice to be able to prove to myself, like, I can get by without those daggum things. Overall, I would say I did really well. And honestly, week 2 and 3, I would say I was kind of low-key, high-key killing it. I felt amazing. I kind of mentioned week 1 that I was kind of, flagging a little bit whenever I was running. If you guys are interested in like my weight loss during this challenge, definitely check out my running video because I talk about it more there. But yeah, I felt energized and great. But by the end of it, I was just done. I was just over it. And since this challenge has ended, I've eaten 2 pints of Halo Top ice cream. And that's not something I do in my everyday life. And I felt deprived. And I don't like feeling deprived because your girl has lost 56 plus pounds not feeling deprived. So, is this challenge necessary? No. Was it a hard way for me to make some changes that I've been trying to make? For me personally, yes. But that is all I've got for this video. If you liked it, as usual, like, comment, subscribe. The YouTube wizards love that stuff for the growth of my channel. If you're interested in more videos about fertility, weight loss, things like that, we do a ton of challenges around here. So, hit that subscribe button. Check me out. But until then, I love you guys, and I hope you have a great day. Bye. Bye.